Peace, this is Karev from Heritage Hip Hop, and I have a question for you. How do you define greatness? In the present climate of America, greatness is defined by either how much money you make, how many people you've killed, or your game. Personally, we want to define greatness tonight by looking at two monumental figures in American culture, Kobe Bryant and Eminem. How do we define greatness? By comparing and exposing them to men. Find out now on the Mic Council. Peace and blessings, everybody. This is Karev, and I'm on camera for this special edition of the Mic Council. So we're talking about something very serious. Before we get to the topic, I want to introduce the people out of here. On my left, we have Grumpy Old Man.
That's facts.
A-Squad Rebel Radio.
You already?
CIMG International.
Already.
Save the Kids Village.
All day.
Nonprofit that helps the community. And he's the mayor of New Jersey Hip Hop.
That's facts.
On the right, we have Lex Diamonds. Diamonds Entertainment LLC. He's the gentleman of hip hop. We'll talk sports, fashion, music, and manners. But he ill-mannered, so this shit gonna be fun. You know what I'm saying? And of course, we got Fatty's Place. We got Fatty's Place, and we have Mike Bradley in the building who sponsors us. Transparent Credit Repair. So before we get started, we gotta pay the bills, y'all. So credit matters. And financial literacy matters. Nice. So being poor can be a choice. So if you choose not to be deficient of a wallet or put your wallet on a diet and want to get it kind of swole, you may want to call 862-250-5122. Transparent Credit Repairs are the superheroes of the financial credit world because not only do they save your pockets, they save your mind and put you in a better position in life. Peace and blessings, everybody. We're back at the Mic Council, and today's topic is defining greatness. Kobe Bryant versus Eminem. What we're going to do, in an attempt to understand the topic, we are going to talk about what greatness is, and then we're going to define how it relates to Kobe Bryant and Eminem. So I want to ask the two co-hosts on here, how do you define greatness, and what is greatness to you?
Like you said it all. We're going to go back and forth.
Okay, well, greatness to me is being able to excel past a certain point at whatever profession setting you do. So, not just being able to, you can be good at what you do, but then there's a level that's past that, being great at what you do. Obviously, a great student is somebody who excels in the academics. A great chef is somebody who excels beyond the normal sentences of cooking. So, being able to be great is to excel beyond a level that the normal person would be able to at that same goal.
That's right. You can piggyback off that with greatness is defining moments also. Longevity, sacrifices that's been made to become great. Dedication is a big key of greatness. And the number one thing for greatness in people who are great, to put it in action. Because to be great, you have to formulate and cause a lot of action. You got to really be putting in a lot of work to become great. So that's why this topic is kind of interesting. And I know everybody out there like, well, why would you put, especially the time frame of it, right? So for one, but we're talking about two people who are actually great at what they do, all the way around. When I say sacrifices, they both sacrificed to get to where they needed to be. So that's why we're at this topic.
I think what it comes down to when we talk about greatness is not being average.
Right.
Because there's a lot of people who sleep their way to the middles. Nobody actually tries to be great. Really, how many people out here actually trying to be great, and how many people are actually just trying to fit in?
Everybody's trying to fit in.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the norm.
Yeah. I mean, we had this discussion in hip hop. I say my personal opinion. Hip hop is not full of artists; it's full of participants. Artists are people who strive for greatness when they do their work, not just people who try to ride a wave and just be known. Because there's a lot of people who are not famous. There's a lot of people who are just popular, and some people are fighting for popularity, aka sleeping their way to the middle and not going to the top. You know what I'm saying? So how I understand greatness to be, greatness is putting yourself in position to not only be in something, but to set the bar and the standard of what that thing is.
To create moments.
So,
Period.
give me 3 people that you would consider great.
Like great.
Like great.
All around, technically. So I gotta say my number one great would be, now that I've actually really, especially after these couple of months of watching interviews, and Will Smith, man.
Oh yeah,
as a
Will
person,
great.
Great, just in general.
Why
what he does outside of movies,
Mhm.
what he's sacrificed. Well, I told you, it's a combination of things. Sacrificing, what he's the way he's built other people up as he was coming up. The way he how much he had to withstand, and what people, the behind the scenes of what he went through while he was trying to still be Will Smith. You understand what I'm saying? Then overcoming and realizing that I don't want to be Will Smith no more. I just want to be myself and who I actually am.
Right.
And just his all around work ethic. Period. How he learned how to be and become Will Smith. Just great. That's one. My second great is the man we just lost. Kobe Bryant, man. We watched that man from a child. Well, I did. I don't know about anybody else. I watched him as a kid, straight out of high school, who came in there and really put that work in. And he was an assassin when it came to this basketball. But his greatness was in his intelligence of the game, right? He came from, first of all, he had, his background was different. He learned in Italy and all that. I don't know if people understand this, but overseas ball is way more difficult than over here. That's first and foremost.
It's fundamental.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So he came here already prepared. But the work he put in and the sacrifice he made, remember, he spent 3 years on the bench trying to even get in the show what he can do. When the Lakers first got him, he did 3 years on the bench. It was still Eddie Jones and all them still playing.
Yeah.
So he's behind them, you know what I mean? But when he actually got in the game and showed, improved, all right, that's Kobe Bryant right here. Right? His mentality of just how he attacked things was just phenomenal.
And who was number 3?
My number 3 will have to be musically Michael Jackson, bro.
Okay. He's an all-time great, but for sure.
Yo, and think of, once again, think about the sacrifice that he went through. He had a whole childhood stripped from him. Didn't know that he was a human music machine. Period. But it also hurt him at the same time, because his childhood was coming out as an adult. You understand what I'm saying? It was like, now I get to be a kid, but I can't be a kid because I'm, you know what I mean? I'm an old man. I'm an old man doing, but that's the only time he was able to just be him. But what he gave us, the messages, the movements, what was his biggest moment? The impact moment of the world, when we all realized that moonwalk was dope. Right there on stage. The 25th anniversary of what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you what I could do without my brothers. Moments. We already knew he was great with the music, but that right there showed us, oh man. And then from there it was over, like over.
Another level.
Way another level. And I knew he was a genius just off the wall.
What you know about that? Who's your? Can you give me 3 greats?
I was trying to think, because there's so many ways you could be great.
Sure.
I was thinking Basquiat as an artist.
Okay. Is that what you want to go with?
Yeah, we'll go with him.
Okay, that's fine.
Well, one, the reason I'm going to use this because sometimes you don't understand your greatness or sometimes others don't recognize your greatness till after. So you could be putting so much work into what you're doing, you can know what you're doing is great. But so many people rely on what others say to define their greatness. Is not, and sometimes you won't even get to know that. But others will tell you once you're gone. Because Basquiat's work, I think he had only 2 pieces of art that was worth 6 figures at the time he was alive. After he died,
everybody, yeah.
And
actually, it took us. It took a couple. It took a couple songs and a couple people to say
his name.
For people to be like, well, who is that? What is that? So you right.
Number 2.
He took one person I wanted.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I was gonna go with Michael Jackson. No, so I'll go with. Let's see. They mad at me. I don't care. Floyd Mayweather.
Okay,
man. Technically, he left out.
Undefeated.
Like, how you gonna be mad at that?
Black man.
And I'm gonna tell you this:
not
just for being the greatest defensive boxer of all time, but also being whoever he's hiring behind the scenes to handle his money. He is an excellent and great finder of help. Because he's currently the richest professional athlete currently alive.
Right.
So it may be, in the long term, going to be ending up becoming the richest professional athlete of all time at the rate that he's going. So his greatness is outstanding, exceeding. What he's an artist in the ring. He's the first person to make defense be highlighted in the ring. Growing up when you saw boxing, it was a knockout, it was the KOs and all that. This guy made you see misses like, so
untarnished.
Yeah, he left untarnished. There's so many people I could think of.
One more. Just throw it out there.
Okay. I can't remember. I'm just fascinated with this guy because I love what he does. Henry Louis Gates.
That's a deep one. Tell me why.
Well, one, because of, I'm going to say outside of what he may be known for, one, the level that he's achieved as a professor alone at Harvard, the education and respect that he had for his career path alone, the behind the scenes work he did with when Roots came out in the 70s.
Yeah, with Roots. Wow.
But then what he's done, really, a lot of people don't know about how much work he did. One, it got so many people wanting to care about their personal ancestry. He was really one of the first people to really push that on. Now, and he might be the godfather for black people really wanting to put in the work for this. The research he's done for getting African Americans, or people of African descent, I'm not African American myself, to want to look back into where our ancestors came from, I think is just fascinating. The research that he does to giving people the opportunity to know where you come from. It made all of us want to start looking into my ancestors, where my mother, grandmother, start asking these questions and start looking and finding people. I think
before social media,
because I remember I was watching his before it was Find Your Roots, when he was doing the other ones where he had all the celebrities come in, and he did that one, and then he did one that was really closer to my heart, which was Black and Latin America, because my family's from Latin American countries. So so to bring that aspect, I respect him so much, and I think he is a great man at what he does.
Dope.
So I wanted to try to go opposite of what you did.
Nah, that's cool. That's dope though. That's all around.
That's dope. I think for my 3, the first person I'm gonna pick is Roland Martin, because Roland Martin is one of the people I believe who brings education and politics to the forefront for so-called Black America. Because while he's been on CNN, he had his own thing on TV One, and he would not sacrifice his platform, for working for mainstream or white America. You see what I'm saying? And if you ever listen to Roland Martin speak, he's the type of person that says, I'll let you speak, but you gotta back up everything you say with facts. You just can't feed me no bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And if you can personify that, live it, let it be your truth, and let it follow you throughout your life, that's how you leave a legacy. And the thing that defines greatness for me is people who have legacies. You know what I'm saying? So I hear who y'all talking about, and because you said you wanted to go a little different, I think I would go a little different. I want to put Roland Martin in there because if you ever want to hear the truth about something, we have a saying in hip hop with Public Enemy, the minister of information. Roland Martin is the embodiment of knowing who you are, be educated, and make a standpoint. And one of my favorite stories he talks about is going to Africa and seeing a white Santa Claus and say, hey, you gotta take that shit down. We in fucking Africa, y'all praise the white people? Get the fuck out of here. That story blew my mind, because like, damn, imagine going somewhere where it's nothing but a nation of people of color and they still holding up Santa Claus, which is a white supremacist stereotype. And it was like, yo, at least make them black if you're gonna have a Santa Claus in Africa. You know what I'm saying? It's just bugged out, you know what I'm saying? And that's the type of stuff that just stands out to me. You can call it an asshole moment, whatever, but that's just how I roll, you know what I'm saying? Second person who's great to me, I mean, this person affected my life in so many ways that I can't even like diminish it. And that's Fred Hampton of the Black Panther Party, R.I.P. And the way he was killed in his bed. You know what I'm saying? Wife pregnant, right next to him, and they shot up the apartment. You know you a bad motherfucker when people gotta come kill you in your sleep. And they just shoot up the house. And all he did was teach all people need to be respected and given equal amount of power. Black power for black people, white power for white people, red power for red people, yellow power for yellow people. And then the Black Panther Party is the beginning of what employs so many people now with the Head Start programs, with I don't want to say welfare system, but community welfare, the free lunch programs, all that started from the Black Panther Party. And with him as chairman or one of the head speakers, with all that, with him being there, it pushed it to such a phenomenal level that COINTELPRO had to be instituted so people can infiltrate the Black Panthers and they can kill these young men who are causing change in their community, which is outstanding.
Bobby Seals too.
Yeah, Bobby Seals, but Fred Hampton is the one I gravitated to more than anybody else.
Gotta read up.
You know what I'm saying? And the last person, I'm gonna take it and flip it on a whole nother level. One of the greatest people who I think really doesn't get a lot of respect is Deborah Lee, yo. That's a great BET, media, entertainment.
That's right.
I'm not a BET fan, but you can't front.
You can't.
If it wasn't for BET and what's the gentleman's name who owned BET? Robert Johnson. If it wasn't for them, I mean, fuck BET right now.
Oh God.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
But I'm sorry. But do you remember Teen Summit?
Yeah.
That's when BET was dope. You know what I'm saying? When we had Rap City with the mayor Chris Thomas, you know what I'm saying? When we had what was the joint?
All that.
Like come on, even had cartoons, man. Remember Channel Zero? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like BET was dope back in the day, and it was a platform that when Deborah Lee took over, before Viacom came in, she actually took it to a platform where it was more inclusive, and that was the early recognition of women's and young people's voices infusing the community.
So you don't think they improved by adding BET Plus with Tyler Perry?
To be continued. Pause. Unfortunately, in the long year of January 2020, we had a lot of tragedies. And January seemed to have been the longest month ever.
Yeah,
so before we continue in this part, we want to say, in the tragedy, there were 9 lives lost in a helicopter crash, and we want to acknowledge everybody who passed away. We do not know their names, but to all the families and people who are affected, may the Most High bless you, and may this time of grieving not rest on you, but may you find peace and solace and life everlasting for your family.
Right.
And 2 people that we lost are Kobe Bryant and Gianna Bryant.
Right.
So rest in peace to them too. And in defining greatness, I want to talk about who Kobe Bryant was to us more than who the world knows him as, and how we define Kobe Bryant. So I'm going to ask you, because you like basketball. I personally don't. What? I'm not a big basketball head. I'm not. I like football. You know what I'm saying?
The sport where the black man is completely dominated.
That's every sport.
That's right.
Completely dominated.
That's every sport.
Ratio.
That's every
Not like
sport.
basketball.
Yeah, not like that.
Not like
It's a
basketball.
difference, man.
It's a
Not
difference.
Like basketball.
So,
Not like basketball.
so how did Kobe Bryant dominate basketball and make you a fan of his game?
Let me tell you this. It's going to be on my podcast, which is coming up this week.
Segue.
So, I spoke when I was, because of the way I play basketball and the way I watch basketball. Like most of us, I'm an 80s baby, so I grew up, my favorite basketball player was Magic Johnson. So I was more of a fan of the Magic Johnson type of way. The Penny Hardaways, when everybody was with the Penny Hardaway, the Grant Hill, eventually LeBron, that lane. So when Kobe came, who followed the Jordan aspect, he got on my last nerves on the court. He got on my nerves. And I think nothing personified that better. It's kind of crazy because the game that personified that the best of how I felt about Kobe is also the game I think I respected him the most, which was his final game in the NBA. Where he shot 22 for 50. And I said, this is Kobe. He can mess up a whole lot during the game where you're like, oh, if you don't shoot that and you pass it instead, it'll work. You'll score. The team will score. And eventually it'll all come out at the end and they still end up winning. Which is what drove me nuts about Kobe. But I remember that game when it happened. If you remember, it was the same game, the same night where the Warriors were on their way to win 73 wins for the season.
That's facts.
So I was watching that game and then I was like, oh, this game is a blowout. Warriors were up by like 30 in the second quarter. So I said, all right, let me see Kobe. So I'm watching it, he ain't missing every other shot. So, and I said, okay. And then that fourth quarter, he just could not miss nothing. And that was the first time I ever was cheering for him. I was actually rooting for him. I was like, yo, score! And I saw when he made that spin around, when he came around that pick and went around and shot over Gordon Hayward, I was like, you better, this is gonna fall in. This is gonna fall in. And I was like, well, how about jumping? So this is what I respect about Kobe. I'll tell you this. As much as people say, oh, you know, he just followed Mike, to an extent, what they also don't appreciate is what he took what Mike could not do and made improvements on the weaknesses that Mike had. Mike had weaknesses? Yes. Mike was not a great three-point shooter.
At all.
Kobe Bryant is currently fourth and tied for third for most three-pointers made in the game. Why? Because he worked on something that Mike didn't take as much to make, which was three-point shooting. Kobe hit 12 three-pointers in the game. As much as people love to talk about Mike, did Mike have handles? Have you ever seen
carried a lot?
Have you ever seen Mike shake somebody out of their boots? I seen Kobe shake.
He shook one person in his career, Larry Bird.
Everybody shook.
So that's it. That's what I'm saying.
It's like, does that really count? He's seen Kobe's cross, especially early in his career. Kobe's cross was lethal. One of the most legendary ones was what he did against the Washington Bullets at the time, and then he eventually dunked off Ben Wallace. And so Kobe's handles were ridiculous. So I have to give him that. And for what people say about Kobe, yes, he had died. He was 6'6", 215, 220 height range and weight range. But what he missed was he didn't have the hands like Jordan. He didn't have long hands. So most of the best shooters in the NBA have long, the Kawhis, Michaels, players they usually have long. So Kobe worked on his game to a level that was just.
But he was super intensified.
Exactly. He worked so much on his craft to be at a level where he was like, oh, yo, he's done stuff like Mike. No, but he did things that Mike didn't do.
Exactly.
And he worked twice as hard at it. Because everybody know Mike would go drink, wild out, smoke.
Get his gamble on.
Get his gamble on, go
and
clubbing.
And still come drop 50 on.
And come, Kobe, teammates all said, he didn't hang out. It was a shock when they said, oh, hey, Kobe came out. Kobe never had, his hangout was the court.
Was the gym.
He worked on his craft. That's why he was above. That's why he was great. He worked steadily hard on that craft. And he made sure afterwards, especially late in his career, when younger players were coming out, he was still out to outwork them. Jay Williams, from Plainfield, told the story about when he was, I believe, the second year in the NBA. He came, he was shooting around in the Staples Arena, and he saw Kobe on the other side, And he said after about 45 minutes, he said Kobe was still out there. And he said, because Kobe told him later, you're not going to outwork me.
Right.
You're not going to outwork me. So what made Kobe great was definitely his work ethic.
Yeah.
His work ethic was, it's some level, he may be even insane at some point, but it was just crazy about on the game, on his sports level, how much he took. He made sure he was phenomenal at his sport. He made sure he took the time to excel at his craft to a level that, many say nobody has came to that level and nobody has prior to the level that he was.
Did not care whether you liked him or not. On the court, he showed you, right? You might be cool off the court.
No, he wasn't either.
No, he didn't really like nobody. He just started getting into, but I also didn't realize how many people he was teaching
on the
low. Oh, do you see how many people would come out and said, well, I was working out with Kobe. He taught a lot of people, right? He was something. He came in saying, I want to be better than Jordan.
Yeah.
2003, the All-Star game. Remember when they was talking trash? You remember when he dropped 50 on Jordan?
Yeah.
After Jordan said that you can't fill my shoes. All this is really happened. He gave him 50 right there. He came in saying, I'm going to be better than you.
He dropped 40 at halftime on him.
But wanted to be better. Like, I can idolize you, but I'm going to be better than you.
Because he worked on things that Jordan did.
He was an assassin on the court. I remember when that whole situation between him and Shaq, I already knew, because I'm a Lakers fan. I already knew the Lakers was like, he the future. Shaq was in the way. Can't have two powerhouses. Somebody got to go. Was I surprised? No. I knew what it was. But then in Kobe's heart, Kobe felt like I have to win a championship without him. And he did it. You remember that?
What on?
You know what I'm saying? Like he was working with minimum to nothing, really.
No. He had good teammates.
Towards the end,
when he won them 2 championships,
in the middle
of
in the middle of the season, no, he didn't. Before Pau Gasol and them came, he was working with quality and all that shit. Come on, bro. I'm telling you. When Gasol came and then Artest came, then it was, all he had was
Smush Parker.
He had Smush. Come on, man. He wasn't. He had to go get. He had to say, look, I just need a few more pieces. Right? So when he got his pieces, that's when he won 5 championships.
And you know what he said, that he was doing it to outshine Shaq because he wanted.
He had to prove it.
He had to prove it.
You know why? He took a lot of flack getting rid of Shaq, bro.
Oh yeah, and then Shaq went and won another championship.
Exactly. Went right to Miami. It's like, all right, whatever. So he had to. It was like, if not, it'd have been over. And then he had the other controversy, which don't matter.
No,
I'm saying he got through all of them.
No,
we're gonna touch on that because I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not an NBA person. I used to be, but then I started learning what the NBA really is, and it just disgusted me a whole like 2 times, 10 times, 20 times over. You know what I'm saying? And I was a Knicks fan, so I should tell you. That's
why you ain't like it. I wouldn't have told nobody.
That explains it all.
Don't.
Yes, it does.
Because when you learn what I know about the NBA, you probably stop liking that shit too. Now, I'm not a. What the NBA taught me is not to appreciate the team, is to appreciate the men on the court. Because when you get to hear so many of these young men's stories, I'm like, fuck the NBA. I'd rather be a fan of the men. And I never was a Kobe fan because I never followed him. My favorite players are always the underdogs. I don't like the guys who everybody likes. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
So that's how I always looked at basketball. But the thing that made me like Kobe is the summer he toured with the And One.
Okay.
And he got the name Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And Kobe, everybody's cussing him out, talking all types of shit about him on the court. He was like, bruh, say what you want. I'm just here to play ball.
Yeah, oh no, they was loving him at Harlem.
And he bust so many motherfuckers' ass that he showed them. It's not a game with me.
It's not.
And the thing that made me a fan of Kobe is when he retired, because that's when I really got to see the genius of Kobe Bryant.
Of him, right? Exactly.
And I mean, it wasn't. I don't, like I said, I don't give a fuck about sports. We have too many people who play sports, and sports is a pipeline to death in the black community. So fuck sports. The thing I like about Kobe Bryant is the fact that I like his face right now because he's bugging.
No, because you're bugging.
Because you got to look at what he said too, and I don't mean to interject. He said you got to be the fan of the player, not of the game, I guess.
The factory.
You're right, and that's exactly what it is. Because when you go back to even study how boxing started, they used to blaze up with all of the strongest black dudes, and they used to bet on us. Yeah. So I get what you're saying, though.
So in understanding Kobe's greatness, to hear stories of the last season Kobe had in the league, and he was on the plane studying how to do scripts. Yeah. And that's how he got Dear Basketball.
That's how he got the Grammy.
To hear Kobe had financial planning before he retired to set up something not only for himself and his family, but for people of color all over, even internationally. Because he was the man in China.
Sure was.
He was the man in Italy. But in the States, his greatness couldn't be defined because it was so well hidden that for us to now find out what it is, it makes his death that much more tragic. We didn't even get to his fatherhood, with how he loved his daughter.
To death,
and the simple fact, they found his body with him holding his daughter in the wreckage. That's the most heartbreaking thing, is because in our country, men of color especially are so under attack that we are always slandered. We get the baby mama talk.
We get all that.
We get the men, whatever, and black men on a large basis are either in the home or busting their ass to take care of their children. And this man died with his baby in his arms, taking a helicopter so he did not miss her game.
No doubt.
That's greatness.
And he always took a helicopter.
Yeah.
Always traveled in helicopter.
One of the things that caught me, that really broke my heart, because when I found the news out, I was actually at a game with my son, and me and my daughter were in the stands. And when I saw, that's when I got the alert. And you just saw people starting, whispering. And the first thing
I didn't believe it.
When I first saw it, I was like, "Where's his family?"
Right.
The first thing I thought about was, "Where's his family?" And then obviously later on, the news came out that his daughter was with him. That broke my heart, because somebody like me who was, I followed them all on Instagram, and I remember seeing the video of Gigi and Kobe practicing, which more people have seen now, when they were playing in the house, and she was killing him. She was not. You could tell.
They were saying she was that next wave, man.
No, you know what? And me and my friend, again, is on my upcoming podcast coming up soon. We were talking about how she's going to be the greatest what if in sports history, and not just in women's basketball, in sports history. As much as we respect Len Bias, Drazen Petrovic,
Bo Jackson,
but
Gail Sayers.
But let me tell you this: more people were expecting her to save what will be the WNBA, to carry. Like they were really setting her up to be the face of women's sports, because they saw her skill level at 13 and said she is already better than adults. Because
I remember our last text.
Don't get in this camera.
In the last text you said you're a family dude too. Remember you said the thing with the birth, so that's important.
So what I saw, she's going to end up being the greatest what if in sports history, I think, and it's a shame to say that of a 13-year-old, but
and I ain't even gonna stunt, man. His death hit people I did not even know paid attention.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna stunt.
Because, as much as people, they forget, there was a time where Kobe was the biggest sports star in the world.
That's facts.
The 2008 Olympics proved that, when you had an entire country of China screaming for him.
Facts.
He was internationally, some sports, they're just, they're well known, but he was universally already praised.
And everybody thought that he was going to have a downfall because basketball is what they thought is all he knew. Like how is he going to fare when there's no more basketball? Bro. And he outdid.
I just got one thing to say.
Oh no, he gave it to his daughter. His daughter just carried on for what he was going to do.
I got one thing to say. After the NBA game press conference, he did it in 3 languages.
Facts. If
that's not a regular guy.
Hands down.
And to keep it real, out of basketball context, My favorite Kobe Bryant moment is the commercial with him. Fuck basketball. The commercial with him and Kanye West.
You're welcome.
Do more.
Scumbag, you should have been there. You're welcome.
I'm the best. How could I do more? He's like, can you be the different beasts within the same animal? And he's like, what the fuck does that mean? He said, you're welcome. That's what made me.
No. He said that after he said, but I'm already the best. He said,
you're welcome. Exactly. That's what made me love Kobe.
That's dope. Yeah.
And the thing is, we're not going to talk about what's trying to tear his legacy down towards the end.
The media be killing me with that shit.
We're going to figure it out toward the end. But we wanted to do this to show Kobe Bryant's greatness is not only defined by what he did on the court. Basketball is like hip-hop.
Yeah.
It only brings you to the door. It's when you go through it what you do with it.
Outside, yeah.
And what he did was give money to the poor. He did financial education. He was doing health education. He was a fucking father who extended himself not only to his baby's dream,
but to other girls.
But he just coined in death girl dad, where people are now just going far and beyond taking pictures to show how much they love their daughters in respect to him. So to everybody out there watching this, this is not only about basketball, this is giving respect to a man who paid the ultimate price and did it with his baby. So everybody out there, RIP, salute Kobe Bryant and Gigi Bryant.
And now y'all realize and understand what the real meaning of Kobe versus Eminem is. Because y'all were really throwing off.
You still recording? They still recording? And just make sure you take the opportune time to take care of the loved ones that you have.
That's right.
Time is not guaranteed to no one.
And that's what that message made me feel like.
No one. Kobe Bryant was 41 years old. To some of us who are watching this, who may be young, who think that is so old, it comes so fast.
No doubt.
You know, I was in high school. I was a freshman when Kobe came to the NBA. So he wasn't much older than me. So to realize, hey, you know, in a couple of years, I'm going to be that same age. So take the time to take whatever beefs you have with anyone, it's not worth it. Settle them joints. Whatever you have problems with family members, settle them. Take the time to get to as much love as you can on this earth while you still have the time.
How much longer was that? Welcome back to the Mike Council, and on this episode of Defining Greatness, Kobe Bryant versus Eminem. Now we're going to talk about Eminem, the great Eminem, and why this is such a necessary topic. First, how do you define greatness for Eminem?
As far as all around in general, just simply, he's a chef. He's a real great chef when it comes to putting these words, bringing these words to life, and thought patterns and themes and cadences of how he puts. Like, see, I gotta understand something, right? Even though he got his style from us, you know what I'm saying? From the outs. Let's just keep that 100.
Outside is one.
But he formulated into a different type of chef, master. He mastered what they already was doing and took it 1,000 times more, right? Just the way he think, right? Just the way he thinks when he's formulating a song is genius within itself. That's a craft you really can't teach. He took a style. Nobody taught him how to do that. He taught himself how to do that with the words and the way he formulated. Have anybody ever just video his lyrics one day and just sit and read? It's a whole artwork going on when he writes. It's ridiculous. First of all, nobody actually thinks. You know how much you have to study to even gather and know how to put sounds connect. People don't even understand what I'm saying here. Like lyricists do. It's hard as hell to put a sound connected to a word to make the next word. He's bending. He's doing all that. It's artwork to this shit. That's some genius. And then from what he's been through. Remember I said sacrifices? His backstory is a sacrifice to him.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So for him to endure what he endured and still able to just really put it in music, gave us fun and entertainment, and took the backlash that he took for it.
Yeah.
Does it really, like seriously, because of his skin, that you have to put a sleeve over his skin and just think about the lyrics, and you tell me he ain't no genius?
Yeah.
He don't belong in hip hop? Oh, Jamal, kiss my ass. Oh, I've been wanting to say this.
Keep that on the leash. You go ahead. What about you? How you define a greatness when it comes to Eminem?
As you know, I'm a writer, and one of the greatest things I say about hip hop is the ability to show creative writing.
Bingo.
One thing you cannot take away from Eminem is the man is a creative genius. His fans are nuts.
Yeah.
He wrote a song that told you that you're crazy. It's called Stan.
Yep, facts.
Eminem knows his fans are insane. He had a song with Exhibit called Don't Approach Me.
Yep.
He was talking to his fans. Eminem himself is a lyrical genius. He is great with creating concepts, creating hooks, creating rhymes. Wordplay, psychopath. Nobody can knock the man's pen game.
Facts.
As much as people try to act about his wiggly or this, we really say some crazy things, you also got to respect all the wordplay that he says as well.
Surrounding the craziness.
Yeah, he'll say something. Not all, people say oh, they don't like when he raps fast. He has tons of songs where he's not rapping fast.
That's facts.
You know why? Because he's creative. He can do it all. He's done songs for the ladies. He's done songs for the clubs. He's done songs, they're weird, but they were there. He's done songs for the pill poppers. He's done songs for for everybody. He has shown himself to be open to even working with artists that I didn't expect him to work with. I didn't expect Eminem to work with T.I.
That's right.
Or Lil Wayne,
Right.
or even that XXXTentacion. And he's opened himself to working with the younger generation. He's worked with Logic. He's worked with Joyner Lucas.
Facts.
He's worked with Conway the Machine. He's opened his arms to bringing in artists. Outside of Eminem, who's brought in more Detroit artists into the industry? We're still working. Okay, you can say to the mainstream.
Yeah, but that is
To the mainstream.
Let
me tell you,
that's a point, though.
That's a good point.
I'll tell you this: before Shady before he had his own record deal with Shady, he brought Royce to 5'9" and got everybody to know who that man was.
And that man's bananas.
So Eminem, as far as greatness with that, he has been able to put on, in my opinion, my personal opinion, 2 flawless albums to his name.
And 2 classics?
Flawless albums. I don't really like. I would say classic. I'll say classics because they stood the test of time.
Yeah, and still right now.
We're not going. We've already had that episode. That's my council episode 3.
Yeah, y'all gotta go back.
For that one.
But
as he dropped flawless material, and that is not the easiest thing to do with rappers, with hip hop, to drop 2 flawless albums. In my personal, there's going people say more.
And he has timeless, remarkable verses.
He has songs. There's
verses. Especially if he did a feature with you.
Oh, yeah.
Please. He got one now that just stand the test of time. They still fighting about it right now.
He's resurrected.
Off of Renegade.
He resurrected careers from 1993 to 1998. Nobody really cared for Dr. Dre. In all honesty, Dr. Dre was on Death Row Records. On Death Row Records, he was forgotten. Let's be completely honest. By the time Dog Food's album dropped, until All Eyes on Me dropped, you had the Dog Food album after Snoop's. Because remember, after Snoop's album dropped, he didn't produce on the Dog Food album. He didn't produce on the Dog's album. On the Murder Was the Case remix, he did that one song. The best song on that album was Sam Sneeze, I think you better recognize. And then All Eyes on Me. dropped, and yeah, he had California Love, but the rest of the album was really Johnny J, Daz, DJ Pooh, you know, the rest of the bulk of the label was running through that. And then when he left, Snoop dropped Dogfather, and Death Row still was selling their units. And then Machiavelli dropped, and Death Row was still selling their units. The production did not move. When he started Aftermath, now people gave love to the Firm album. Right. When it first dropped, a lot of people didn't like it.
It wasn't even the first album on Aftermath.
Exactly. Nobody even talks about the Aftermath. Nobody talks about the Aftermath. That presents the Aftermath.
And all that.
We've been there, done that.
But
you know,
nobody. M brought him back to life.
Eminem brought him back
and shocked the world at the same time.
Mm-hmm. With Eminem bringing Dr. Dre back to life, guess what it brought back out? The Chronic. It brought back Exhibit. It made people realize Exhibit. It made people realize.
And it brought all the lyricists out.
It brought all the lyricists back out. And all these Detroit lyricists were just coming out of nowhere. Were coming in working, and it was like, oh, we're from Detroit, and everybody just knew. Oh, they got skill out there,
bro. When the president sends people to you, so you can leave me alone in your lyrics, that's a problem.
I'm gonna say this: I am not an Eminem fan, but I appreciate Eminem's music because some of that shit just ain't for me. And I remember when Eminem first came out, I was like, he's okay. Cause I just don't give a fuck whatever that song was. I was just like,
I thought it was dope. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
All you, cause I had nothing. The guy
with the underground
alien in the shopping cart. That shit didn't do nothing to me. But when like Guilty Conscience came out, he woke. I was like, okay, this is crazy.
What helped me was I heard somebody. This is back when online was just starting to pop, when AOL was just starting. So I had heard a cut of Brain Damage
before they even mixed it and all that. Yeah,
because it was on the original. It was on this original demo. So this is back when you had to have real play. Right. So this bring you way back when those.
And that's when I knew he was a great storyteller.
When I heard Brain Damage, I said, "Whoa, this kid!" And I heard it before My Name Is, which was the second single of that album, came out. And I said, I was going to school. I said, "Yo, this kid," I was like, I don't know who he is. There's this white boy who's going to terrorize everybody.
Yep,
I said, this kid is crazy.
Well, look, I'm going to pick up from there and just say this. To me, greatness ain't how you use your ability. I don't give a fuck about that. Because everybody's able, are you able to answer the call when you're called? You know what I'm saying? And he got the chance to be called. It was when the controversy came to him that I started recognizing greatness in Eminem. We all know that Eminem's white. Big mystery, okay? We all know if you're somebody white who can excel in black culture, or so-called white and so-called black culture, oh, you're the shit. That's called Elvis syndrome. So he is an Elvis when it comes to hip-hop. Let's just keep it funky. You know what I'm saying?
He even said it.
Yes. But
okay. Go ahead, brother.
But what made Eminem great to me is what makes me appreciate greats in hip-hop, adversity. Because when he had to actually go against Benzino and the Source.
It's the whole Source, yep.
He produced some of the best shit in hip-hop that summer. And then on top of that, he said, fuck it, you know what? I'm nice. But let me show you people I'm also a nice executive as well. So what did he do? Because all these motherfuckers was talking about him. All these people was putting him down because of his skin color. He said, fuck it. I'm going to make my own, I'm going to make my own radio station.
Yep.
And we got Shade 45 right now.
That's facts, yo.
That's how you take the game over. That's when I started respecting him. Anybody can make.
Remember, he went through that whole thing with the thing we can't say now, but that movement, and that's where he brought Elton John out.
Yeah,
he had the whole. He been through a lot.
And I forgot to add, even though I said what he did for Detroit, he brought the biggest goon in the streets into a major label.
Who? Trick?
No, 50 Cent.
Facts.
People forgot. 50 Cent in 2001?
Now, but
in 2000, 2001, 2002.
The Power of a Dollar?
When everybody was running and trying to do Ja Rule type songs, where every song on the radio had a rapper singing and had R&B singers looking like the thugged out rappers. when all of us we all went from the Puff Daddy Cash Money wave to now all these rappers was singing. Everybody was singing worse than it is now because they actually did not know how to sing. 50 Cent came and smoked that down. He had us clowning Ja Rule with his skits. And you know, everybody was afraid of bringing 50 Cent to their label because they didn't want to get shot.
Why he say it like that?
Eminem brought him through and gave him the spotlight, and 50 Cent has been off and running since.
He also
he's
smart
in this
motherfucker.
episode. He is, because and bringing in 50 Cent and G Unit, it brought a sound back to hip hop that was missing for
and back to New York. Remember, back to New York.
It brought that gutterness back to commercial radio.
Here's the shit though. Eminem got corny as fuck. He did.
That's why I do bad.
And guess what? He also reinvented himself and his label by signing Slaughterhouse.
Facts.
Now he's doing Griselda. And he doesn't sign everybody. There's people. His argument is people he should have signed that he didn't. I'm not going to touch that. The point of the matter is, what's great to me about Eminem is the fact that he can reinvent himself and still stay in the conversation. Whether he's relevant to you or not, he's in the conversation. Like, I'm going to keep it real. The last 2-3 albums, I like them shits. Monster, whatever, Relapse and all that. It wasn't really for me.
Okay.
It wasn't for me. But this murder joint,
Yeah.
wow! You know what I'm saying? Look.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Too Deep.
Godzilla.
Darkness.
Listen, bruh. This album is incredible. For those who don't got it, y'all need to go pull it up. Whatever y'all need to do, just go listen to it. And he brought lyrics back again. You know what I'm saying? Like lyrics. Now, a lot of people was iffy about the track selections, but I'm gonna tell you how I know for sure people don't listen to actual music because the tracks were fit and prepared around the theme of the album.
Okay. The Alfred Hitchcock by
Facts.
Yes.
And that's why the tracks were that way. Most people would be like, well, why did he pick that? No. It was a theme around it.
And he's had multiple albums with themes.
That's what I'm saying.
So
but you got to know these things. You don't know it.
Recovery. Those are both theme-based albums.
No doubt.
I'm good on it. But Music to Be Murdered By is definitely something that y'all should be looking for. And not to cut you off, but keeping it real, if genius is 5,000 hours in a certain craft, imagine how many hours this man's put into not only be creative, not only to make thematic albums, but to change the game continuously on a lyrical and business level.
Facts.
Cut it.
Before we cut, I want to add one more thing
What's up?
to that Kobe Bryant situation.
Okay.
No, excuse me. Pause, not Kobe. To Eminem. It was said that his work ethics is 9 to 5 only. 9 o'clock in the morning, clocks out at 5 o'clock, will not stay a minute later, will go to lunch, will not come in a minute earlier. 9 to 5. That's
wow.
y'all can cut that off if y'all want. I don't care.
All right, so everybody out there watching this is the last part of our special for the Mic Council. Tune into the Mic Council on Heritage Hip Hop YouTube. You can also hear new music. You can see Grunt on H Squad Rebel Radio and Lex on Diamonds Entertainment LLC. But here's the point of why we did this. Greatness means that not only are you held at a high pedestal, you also open yourself up to criticism. Bullshit criticism and legit criticism. And one thing about greatness that made me look at Kobe Bryant versus Eminem is the American component of hatred and racism that has hit both of these men, one in an untimely death and one just because he's good at his craft.
Facts.
And who y'all want to start with, Kobe or Eminem? Which one of y'all want to get into first?
You know what? I'm gonna go with M.
Okay.
I'm going with M now because I want to leave Kobe till end. A lot of people scream about when we talk about Elvis and Eminem. Elvis, like artists like the Backstreet Boys or what happened with Friends and Living Single, those were people who said, we are purposely going to make you take over what African Americans are doing and make it too popular for a white audience. Eminem didn't do that. A lot of people are upset at Eminem for doing it. Eminem wanted to be great at his craft. He came out with good music. It was Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre who said, we could take this to a bigger audience.
A bigger audience.
And it was rock radio stations and pop radio stations who decided to play his music on radio, on terrestrial radio stations that were not playing Jay-Z's, the Nas's, all those artists that we know were great but could not sell 9-10 million. But we know we had to. This is not at the fault of Eminem. Eminem did not purposely say, you know what, I'm going to be this, I'm going to do this to sell records. He said, I wanted to be great at rapping, and that's what he did. So when people take that, oh, he's only popular because he's white, no, it was marketing. It was marketing
and his marketing
and executives behind the scenes and directors of companies who made sure, oh no, his music is going to be heard, and yet the more heard, the more sales. As that's economics 101. The more they see, the more chance you have to buy.
But he did have the advantage of his Caucasoid continuum. But that's not his fault. And that's what I want people to focus on.
And that's why I say, when you say, he was like Elvis, that's why I say, no, I separate that two, because Elvis was purposely done like that.
No, Elvis was a fucking racist, and he died taking his shit. Fuck him.
And that's why I said, like, what happened recently. And
he was a super
exactly.
Music-wise,
and that's why I said, like, what happened recently with David Schwimmer and Living Single, when he said, oh, when people realized, no, Living Friends was a white knockoff of a black show
of Living Single.
And like what happened with New Edition, with New Kids on the Block. A lot of people now, we love New Edition, but I'll tell you this: in '88, New Kids on the Block knocked New Edition out.
Yeah,
or
killing shit.
Or Law and Order is New York Undercover.
Oh yeah, no, that was the same people. It was the same people.
Man, fuck that.
It was the same people. It was the same writers, the same executive.
Before it came out, Malik Yoba was looking at dudes and dresses. Malik Yoba was the shit. IC was the villain of the year, yo.
Malik Yoda.
Malik Yoda. Sorry.
Yogurt.
Him he like.
So like that's why when people complain about Eminem, being white, outside of this, he actually cares for the craft.
Stop right there.
Pause.
Stop right there. That's a great point, because, and I want you to pick it up after I say what I say, please. Because I think the lost art of hip hop is paying homage.
That's right.
Eminem won an award and gave a shout out to Kool G-Rap. How many rappers right now, or even before, said, yo, G-Rap. Biggie Smalls, G-Rap. Big Pun, my style was made off of G-Rap. But everybody else you hear, they'll never talk about G-Rap. They'll never talk about Big Daddy Kane. Ain't nobody giving out Cool Herc shout outs when they get awards. Everybody thank God, thank their mama, and just say some bullshit. Eminem got an award and said, this is for Kool G-Rap, Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, Kool Mo D, The Treacherous Three, and ran down the history of hip-hop right up there on the stage. And it took somebody who y'all consider white and not in the culture to do something that y'all motherfucking asses don't even do.
Right. And then go on the platform to talk to some other cracker, my bad, and say some bullshit and have this man disrespect.
Gotta be black.
You know what I'm saying?
So
Yeah,
call Lord Jamar. He full of shit.
Lord Jamar is whack. You know what I'm saying? Corny as hell for that shit. Like,
look.
You know what I mean? Like, straight up. Like, sometimes, and then it's like, you constantly have, I'm starting to feel like Vlad just bring him up there because he knows he say asshole shit. And people want
because it's going to get views. But I was telling you this, certain points that Jamal says are facts.
They are facts. They are facts.
He does. I'm not saying everything Jamal says is wrong, because he does make some valid points. But you also have to take into the fact that Eminem is not out here to do what Jamal is complaining about. Eminem was not the person who said,
he knows this.
You know what? When my album comes out, I think Eminem would have been perfectly happy if his album just only if he got played on urban hip hop radio station. It wasn't his fault. We're in the Northeast area, so our biggest pop radio station out here is Z100.
Right.
When it took Jay-Z to make Big Pimpin' one of his biggest, I think possibly his biggest career song, get to Z100. He had 3 albums already and did not get not one airplay song on.
Keep in mind,
but
nobody wanted to sign him.
When Eminem first came out, when My Name came out, he got play on Z100. He was getting the same airplay with Limp Bizkit, Backstreet Boys, 98 Degrees, NSYNC, all the pops who are all, but check this out. They were all selling Diamond. Guess who was also selling Diamond? Eminem. And so because he knew
3 times.
But remember,
so he was so that's not his fault.
It's not his fault.
His fault. But I'll tell you what he did. Because of what he knew, because he knew that, guess what it also came out? When the Chronic 2001 came out, his single was out. What blew up Dr. Dre? What got Dr. Dre played on Z100? That song. What took Eminem in the club getting played? Eminem's Push. What got G-Unit getting played on MTV? Eminem's Push. Because he took his stamp and made sure other people who are not getting pushed got pushed. So as much as Lord Jamal dogs him out, they forget about, yes, he could drive around the hood, drive up and down the bricks. And Eminem has Brick City connection. I could drive up and down Springfield Avenue, and yes, we're not going to listen to it. We're not going to hear his music in the hood. It's facts. You don't play it nowadays. Everybody listens on their headphones anyway. So you're not going to hear his music in the hood. Facts. But he's well respected. He's well respected.
Especially when you mention bars, they say him.
They say him. He's respected outside of Lord Jamal.
What are we talking about?
Rakim, Eminem, Method Man, G-Rap, Nas, Jay-Z. They all give this man respect of the craft he does.
Redman.
He's not well respected in Brick City.
Who's his student?
He's not well respected in Brick City because he left Brick City behind.
Yeah.
And that's a blight to his character.
But I will say this.
But there's a story behind that. But
we don't know.
Episode.
But we don't really know that whole story.
But I will tell you this. But did he not come out with a song where he apologized for what he did and gave a shout out to the Outsiders?
And let's not forget he signed one of them on this label. Now,
so he's
what happened?
Yeah, so he made sure the Outsiders got their praise.
Finally.
Multiple times.
Finally.
You should have done a lot more.
Eminem, come home, bro.
But at the end of the day, yo. But at the end of the day, it's always something of a great person that we find to slight their character. And one thing I can tell you about Eminem that I appreciate, besides the bars, besides him being a businessman, besides him giving homage, he knows what it is that's going on. And if Nina Simone said the responsibility of an artist is to reflect the times that we live in, Eminem is one of the only artists that fiercely took on Donald Trump on a fucking freestyle when all these so-called Negroes, the kings and queens, don't say shit.
Yeah, YG and Nipsey.
I'm gonna say this again. he took his own platform and went against the establishment. While all these so-called queens and kings don't say shit. Look at Terry Crews. Didn't he throw Gabrielle Union under the bus? Look at Gayle King. Look what we're gonna talk about that in a minute. Look what she did when it came to Kobe. Look at Oprah. Look at Oprah Murphy's ass and how she's riding for Harvey Weinstein, but quick to throw Michael Jackson, who's dead, under the bus. And fucking now Russell Simmons. Well, look, I don't know the whole story. I don't know shit, but I know one thing: you got to be committed to your craft and tell the truth every single part of the way. To be loved and to be hated. And no matter how much you feel like or dislike Eminem, he's a great. So if anybody, where's Lord Jamar at? Lord Jamar, if you see this, DJ Vlad, you see this? No, I ain't mad at you. You always got to see it on Heritage Hip Hop. Come on our platform, or we'll do your platform.
He's from Jersey. He's from Jersey, man.
His dad from North. We know.
No, he's from Jersey too. He might rep New York. He's from Jersey. So come on home.
Cut.
Facts.
But yo, coming back off the Mic Council, we're gonna now talk about the slander against Kobe Bryant, which is very unfair. And I like that this man has only been dead for like a week. At the time of this taping, we've had so many people come out to disparage him. And the thing about this is, as a man of color in American society, you are already criticized at war. You are a casualty of war as soon as you come out the womb. And to be a man of color that does something so great, since we're defining greatness, beyond the sport, that they have to find some way to disparage you. Now, we're not going to go too deep into the political things because I want to keep my channel. And fuck you for whoever's trying to take heritage hip hop away. We're talking about Kobe Bryant's greatness, how he's getting slandered. And the thing that hurt me was when Abigail Disney, the daughter of the CEO or the owner of Disney, said that even though he's dead, he's a rapist. Yeah, should we celebrate him?
That was whack. And SoCon, fuck you too, because he said the same thing.
Who the fuck are you to tell somebody not to celebrate somebody because they're rapists? In American history, we celebrate Caucasian men who have notoriously raped, killed, demeaned, and destroyed not only the men but the women. We have, what's the bitch? Is it Margaret Sanger, who was the head of Planned Parenthood, who said that they have to sterilize black women so they can't have babies? And even in the 2000s, right now, they're talking about it's medically safer for women of color to have abortions than to give birth. Come on now, we're talking about tearing a man's legacy down. People are painting murals of Kobe Bryant like they did Nipsey, and they're putting rapists across his picture right now on his murals. You gotta be fucking careful. I'm sorry for the language, everybody, but this really does make me angry because as a man, especially a man of color in this country, no matter what good you do, people want to find one thing to tear you down. And some of our people are the worst examples of connectivity and brotherhood we could have, because Public Enemy said it just the way I took it, and it hit my heart when they said, every brother ain't a brother because a black man shares a color. And we have people of our so-called color, hue, race, ethnicity that's tearing this man down too. How did you feel about the Gail Campbell interview? I mean, not Gail Campbell, because she's the best singer in the world. Gail King.
Edit that.
Shout out to Gail Campbell.
We delete that.
We love you.
Bloody waters, yo.
We love you.
I was seeing blood, so it was a
Nah, but I was irate. But who said it before her?
Felicia Sonmez,
right?
We had Abigail Disney.
And then, not only that, a week before that, matter of fact, a week before that, the same day that he died, the news reporter calls him a nigga.
Yeah.
On air.
Knacker.
Yeah.
Knackers.
No, Knackers?
Knackers.
Which is coming soon to storefrontier.com.
They tried to cover it up on some, so I was already irate, but that only thing that came to mind was this ignorant motherfucker.
The comedian
who personally,
we'll talk about that in a minute.
She should have got her ass whooped like right there.
But we protect white women, so.
I will tell you this: at the time of this taping, folks, this is the day after the Gail King interview with Lisa Leslie.
Yeah.
Did you see Lisa's face?
Now I will tell you this: from the information that just came out today, Gail King is coming after CVS because she's upset on how they cut it up to make it sound like she was going crazy. And from what she said, I'm kind of understanding what she said because it's nothing new. Every black artist have said the media has chopped me up and took me out of context. It's nothing new. From what she's saying is that she knew what Lisa was going to respond, and she wanted that response to get heard more than her trying to be an attack on Kobe. So at the present time, I'm waiting till it fully comes out before.
Did you see the whole interview?
The full interview has not come out yet. Part of the interview.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
So I'm waiting for the full interview to come out before I say what. Because if Gail Campbell, Gail Campbell, Bloody Waters, album of the year. Make sure you go get that. What Gail King said, if she's saying what she's saying is correct, is that she wanted people to hear what Lisa Leslie said, that Kobe Bryant was not an aggressive person, especially his history. Said he never went out, he never went clubbing. All the people running after Kobe, do you really think this dude had an attack?
No. He got set up from the word go.
I'm going to interject.
So
please let me interject where you at, please, because this is I give you respect for having that opinion and saying you're going to wait to see the whole thing. But here's the fallacy in Gail King's interview. We do media, so there's certain things we have to learn as media people to know the tricks of the trade. And Gail King ain't special. She just did what my professors used to do. And that's talk you into a circle to see if you can prove your point. And what she did was not want to project Kobe in a certain light. She used sarcasm to give question to his character. Mm-hmm. That's where I have a beef with it. Because when she said to Lisa Leslie, well, he's your friend, you wouldn't know him to be that way, that caused doubt on his character. And the second one was, well, the girl didn't testify, so blah, 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 blah. And that's why Lisa Leslie said, didn't it go to trial?
Yep.
Well, then we'll let that go. We'll let that speak for itself, because America banks on people not doing knowledge and research. I don't want to talk about the trial too much, but let's just say Kobe Bryant wasn't the only man there.
That's facts.
And DNA evidence showed that
And
it was a party, y'all,
guilty.
and things happened.
And he was never found.
And it was thrown out because there was no guilty verdict. So how was he a rapist? And you know the reason why he settled? He settled so it would save her and himself time being thrown under the bus and being disparaged. Okay. But then these punk bitches were so scared of Kobe Bryant, they had to wait till he died. See, everybody out there, when we talk about greatness, everybody will appreciate your greatness when you die. Right. But even in death, they would still kick you when you're down and call you a nigga to your face, and if not to your face, to the people who love you. Because think about this. Think about this. Muhammad Ali was the most hated black man in America. And then when he died, oh, everybody loved Muhammad Ali.
Matter of fact, Cassius was...
Oh, Cassius, okay. Colin Kaepernick is one of the most hated men of color in this country. Let Colin Kaepernick die. I bet you 20 years later we'll have Colin Kaepernick Day. Or the Colin Kaepernick Award. Or some shit like that.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And I can't wait for people, unlike what happened with Muhammad Ali, where people didn't have social media for all the hate that he had. Right. In 20, 30 years from now, because the civil rights was what, 50 years ago. So from 50 years from now, your Facebooks, your IGs, your tweets are going to be around, and your grandchildren are really going to be ashamed of yourselves of the stuff you're talking about.
I don't know, man.
So no, because it's going to happen. Colin Kaepernick, they're going to have a 30 for 30. I stand it with Colin, and it's going to start Jamel Hill. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. He's going to be seen as a superhero going in the future. So with Kobe in the situation right now, it is a shame. It's like they just came out the floodgates, and black men and the term rape have such a nasty history in the United States. The word, especially when it comes with white women. No matter what, they are always guilty until...
Gotta protect the white girl.
Just women in
general, they are guilty until the baby comes out white, and that's after they've been lynched. So, that's only...
And big fuck you to the old bitch who lied and got Emmett Till killed. No, for real.
Yeah.
No, for real. Yeah. Because she lied, and it came out years later, and... Unfortunately, this young man had to die to spur the country into a civil rights act. Mm-hmm. But people have been lying on men of color
for rape
for centuries.
Women just be lying, period.
Can we get a FU to that tycoon, or that business tycoon that went around saying that black men was raping white women and they was getting high on drugs and this and that?
Which one?
Oh,
that's a whole bunch of them.
Say no more.
Especially the ones that's really behind this depopulation thing.
Yes.
So listen, y'all. This conversation on defining greatness wasn't about only celebrating the life of a man and his daughter and an MC. We wanted to show the dichotomy of how America works. Because a white rapper gets hated by a culture he's in because of his skin color. Not only to mention that he's done some bugged out shit. The Black Girl's a Dumb song and all that shit that Nick Cannon put up. Look, and I'm not saying, let's just forgive everybody. No, hold that motherfucker accountable.
You saw about the song you did when he was like 16?
Yeah.
Justin Bieber got a song at 13. I don't give a fuck.
No N-word pass.
But the bottom line is, in being white,
you have to allow people to change and grow, man. there's
You can allow somebody to shit in your shoes, don't mean leave your shoes in the house. I ain't be.
Not in this day and age. You can't change in this day and age.
Yeah,
Listen.
but you can from back then. Come on, man.
Look at my face.
God.
Commercial break. Listen, as I was saying,
Because he was, excuse me, he should have been slapped in the face back then. But that's neither here nor there. Let's keep
at the end of the day,
the same man.
Eminem is a great MC,
kid, though.
and you can't hate him because of his skin color.
Okay.
You cannot like his music.
Music.
You cannot agree with what he talk about. But the work that man's put in to tear him down for how he looks, you're a bastard for that.
Okay.
Don't like him because of something he does, not for how he looks. Kobe Bryant is following in death the line of so many other men of color in this country that no matter how great he was, people still, even in death, wanted him to just be a player who shut up and dribbled the ball and didn't have any aspirations outside of the sport that he used to get rich. And unfortunately, we lost a great man
Yes.
and his daughter
Facts.
and 7 other people who were with their families.
2 other young children.
Facts.
2 or was more?
There was 3 young girls. There was
Yeah, they were going to a game.
Yeah, they were going to the game.
Yeah.
And it was a mother and father and daughter. It was
And
the
then another girl.
the baseball coach
Lost it.
and his
Yeah.
daughter.
The pilot.
The pilot, the other little girl, Gianna and Kobe.
Yeah.
So to everybody out there that's watching this, I hope you got something out of this episode of the Night Council. Because this was a special. This wasn't one of our regular episodes that we planned. This is something that we wanted to get together and talk about. And to everybody that's not here that was supposed to come, maybe you come next time. The door's always open and we extend that to
Might
you.
start locking that shit though.
So to everybody out there, once again, we're going to introduce ourselves so you know who we are.
Grumpy old man, A Squad Rebel Radio. Y'all already know. The mayor. Holla.
Lex, Diamonds Entertainment LLC. Watch out for the podcast, Cutting Edge.
I don't know who he's looking at.
Oh, yo, the live's over there. Yo, Lex, Diamonds Entertainment LLC. Watch out for the upcoming podcast coming soon.
Yeah, baby.
I'm Karev, and at the end of the day, our final word is this. Greatness is defined by the character and the actions that you portray in your craft. There are great teachers, there are great mothers, there are great fathers, there are great athletes, musicians, etc. And we should appreciate them and give them their flowers while they're alive. And unfortunately, death made us appreciate one of our greats in deed and in parenthood. So let's take the time to salute our greats, whether you agree with them or not. Greatness speaks for itself, and it does not speak to your opinion. So, my final words and our final words, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant,
Rest in peace.
Gianna Bryant, and to the Bryant family and everybody who's ever been
And to the
affected
family.
by this tragedy and the other families. May the Most High bless you, and don't let somebody famous die for you to take death serious. Take life serious always.
Facts.
Peace.
What he said.